And if you're watching, we are broadcasting live from Nairobi on 94.4. It is one of those days. Traffic is bumper to bumper. The clouds are gray. But my job is to make sure you have a smile on your face. I'm going to be giving you something, actually 2 winners by the end of the show. And I'm not alone. I've got fantastic, let's just say beautiful, beautiful people in the studio. And I'm so excited because I've been looking forward to this interview since the week began. Rosalind Obara, Quinta Mbori, and of course, Sammy Wambua. Great to see you here. Welcome to the Spice Drive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, right here at Standard Group, it has been a beautiful week for women.
Yes.
And I'm so proud to be a woman in this time and age. And of course, we can't talk about women without the men that support us and lift us even. So, Sammy, you're right up there in that alley. Great to see you here on the Spice Drive.
Thank you.
Oh, welcome to the best show in town.
Oh, really?
And of course, the conversations that we have here are authentic and organic. Let's talk about the week that's gone here at Standard Group. Quinta, I'll give it to you.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
well, we turned 1 year old.
Yes.
Standard Group Women Network.
Yay.
We are 1 year old. Yes. We are very excited.
Big deal.
Yes, it's a big deal, especially for women in media.
Yes.
Rosalind will confirm that.
Yes.
It's not a walk in the park.
No.
And more often than not, we really have to fight for a lot. So this week has been our week.
Yes.
We've been celebrating our milestones. We launched sometime last year,
Yes.
October.
Yes.
And the vision of the network was to articulate the voice of women here at the workplace and also position them for greater impact in the society.
I love that.
Yes.
You know, when we talk about inclusivity, Sami can agree with me. We've come a long way.
Really?
You know, when you tell people about being in media in Africa, not every organization understands the importance or the impact of being vocal about and deliberate about involving women. What do you think about this journey so far? I mean, a year has gone by. When I found out it was a year, because I'm new here, I was surprised because I feel very present. I feel included.
Thank you.
I have a fantastic team here at Spice. There's lots of women doing massive shows.
Yes.
So how has it been, comparatively to a couple of years ago?
Oh, it's been a great journey.
Yes.
But let me stick to my lane.
Yeah.
I'm a media person.
Yes.
And really, media, when it came to empowerment,
Yes.
media was a case study in not how to do it, a case
Yes.
study in injustice.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was this thinking,
Yeah.
a woman cannot be a managing editor. I don't know where it came from.
Who came up with that?
It must be men. Yes, because
Yes.
when women were promoted, people, even now,
Yes.
I'm saying it's still a going on battle, because
Yes.
whenever a lady is promoted to, say, managing editor,
Yes.
you'll always hear some men grumbling. Can she do it? They think it's women should do features. So they call them more soft stories.
Soft
but
stories.
I'm so happy. I'm so
Yes.
happy it's not happening these days.
La.
Rose here
Yes.
does politics just like everybody
Yes.
else.
Yes.
I can
Yes.
say she's even better than some men.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And of
So
course, for a
we
man
want-
to say it.
Yeah. But I think we still have got some long way to go.
Yeah.
I want to see television stations
Yeah.
headed by women.
Women.
Because why can't they do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because whenever I see them working, I sit next to them.
Yes.
There's nothing to show they can't do it. I see the men consulting with them. They make decisions.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like our department, for example, the head of digital is Caro, and she does a very good job.
Yes.
Yeah, men came and asked for advice. So this thing, people thought certain stories can only be done by women.
Yes.
I don't know where it came from, but
It's
it's
a
good.
baseless perception.
Yeah,
Of
it's
course
good.
it
It's
is.
fading by the day.
I love that.
Yeah.
And of course, I like to say that, with the men that also see that, because not every man is like Sammy here.
Yes.
So Sammy is our bestest friend. So I think it's a necessary conversation. As you said, it's a
is.
process. We started from somewhere, but we're going to farther places. Rosalind, with your lipstick on, still doing, I mean, it is okay to still play like a boy,
Yeah.
but you're still a woman. And it's okay to be soft, delicate, but still firm.
Yes.
And of course, you can be relied upon. How has your experience been? Of course, it's been a year. A Standard Group Women's Network has made an impact, especially for me coming into a space where I know I can be seen. It's got nothing to do with being a woman and having women like you at the forefront. How has your career been ever since you started?
I want to thank God
Yes.
for this time that we've come here. It's 1 year and we need to celebrate that. Yeah. And we also want to thank the Standard Group management
Yes.
to have just decided to come up with this noble idea
Yes.
to just recognize that women also play a key role
Yes.
and they need to sit on the table.
Yes.
Because if you come to like the media industry, you'll find that the men are the people who sit on the table. And some of the times you find there's only one woman or two women to give the divergent views. But now that we have a network that actually recognizes that we have women and women also need to have a say, then it is quite important that the management have it. And now that we also have our president here, it's something to envy that actually we can have a woman who leads and sets the agenda for others. Because I'm sure so many people, including you, who sees Quinta and see other people like me, then you'll say, this is where I want to be. And I think because of that, they've told us that the ceiling is a top.
Exactly.
You should not be comfortable where you are. I'm here today, but what is my potential? Have I exhausted it to the limits? And for me, I was just appointed the other day, I think last month, to the Media Council Board.
Congratulations.
And you can imagine I'm the first person coming in as a practitioner and also now on the policy level. So that tells you that we can actually do it. If you aim high, you will get that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I've been in the media now for like 12 years. And print is one of the most challenging platforms in this industry. And you'll find that so many women join the industry and they get to leave at some point because of frustrations. Maybe that support is not there. There's a stereotype among men. And some of us, if you don't have a shoulder to lean on or somebody to support you, then you don't see the need to stay there. And Sami had talked about the soft stories where you find women doing gender, they're doing health, they're doing environment. But here is a case where I am doing politics. And it's not an easy field. You interact with the people. There are some stories you touch on that actually even at night you go back home and you're like, you see your phone and you're jittery. Should I pick this phone? But at the end of the day, this is a path we've chosen and we cannot leave it to men alone. So the fact that the Standard Group has given us that opportunity to build our careers is just a plus to the Standard Group.
Wow, I love this. When I saw Quinta speak yesterday, I was like, this is the place to be. And I was like, okay, Christmas comes early. We're celebrating. This is great. She's got the microphone. She looks the part. She's, dropping gems. I was like, wow. You're the president of the Standard Group Women's Network. It's been a year since its inception. Tell us about how this idea came about.
Wow. Standard Group Women Network was an idea that the organization came up with. And they were looking at various segments, various areas of operations. They wanted to find out the level of engagement of employees. So from the results, what happened is women were less engaged. There were about 10 engagement key drivers. I could just maybe mention a few offhand: leadership, communication, career growth, facilities, and so on and so forth. So out of the 10 key drivers, women were totally unhappy with the way things were happening around here. If you can guess, the reaction of the men.
What would you possibly be unhappy?
So the men were really okay with everything. So if about 30% of your workforce is less engaged, then as a business you're missing out on a lot.
Absolutely.
So it was a recommendation by the consultant that you need to find out why your female employees are not engaged, and you need to do something about it pronto, because this is affecting the business. So that is how the network was formed. And I believe that right now, if you were to take that survey again, we'll see a bit of progress. Even yesterday I said we have done quite a lot. But we are not yet there. We are making steps in the right direction. We currently, we've done a lot actually. We've reviewed policies here at Standard Group, sexual harassment policy. We are looking at maternity, paternity policies, which were not even in existence. And the thing about the network is, in as much as we are called Standard Group Women Network, we are actually looking at the issues affecting gender equality. I always say the Women Network, that name was just to get the attention, which by now we have already got.
Loud and clear.
Yes. Everybody, when you talk about Standard Group Women Network, the men in this organization, they shiver. They're like, wow, what are you guys up to now?
Yes.
But that was just as attention seeking, which we already have. But at the end of the day, we believe that gender equality is a human right. It's not even about Standard Group.
No.
Because if you look across most organizations, it is a problem that is affecting almost everybody because of the flawed history that everybody is part of. There are certain things that we cannot deal with because that is how things happen.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean we just sit back and watch.
Yeah.
So we have managed to do quite a lot. Apart from the policies, we relaunched a nursing room here. Women here can now work effectively. I mean, at some point, yes, some of the employees at some point they will be, nursing. They'll get into maternity.
Yes.
But what we know is that whether you're on maternity or not, decisions will be made.
Absolutely.
Yes, and some of these decisions actually made at the board level. So there's really nothing much you can do about it.
Yes.
Now, we already do not have proper representation at the board level.
Yes.
And then you are away because you've gone to express milk at home and then come. So we are just trying to make to create an enabling environment for women such that by the time now the opportunities present themselves, they can now compete effectively.
Yes.
Because most people were scared that the women's network is probably giving women an upper hand. No.
Yes.
We have received the shorter end of the stick for a long time. What you're trying to do is just to levelize the playing field so that people can compete effectively. So women don't have so many hurdles along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
they want to feel supported and encouraged. Yes. I love that you highlighted that it's not about Standard Group.
No.
I think there's a lot to emulate from an organization like this. And I'll tell you this, across the East African region, there's a lot that people can learn from an organization like this. What would you say to women? And I hope we can answer that in the next hour. There's women who actually think that you're chasing the wind. There's women who've actually been conditioned to think, no, I don't think we can do this. All right?
Yes.
You see, few women are ready to take the risk to stand at the forefront and say, we can challenge this.
Yeah.
We can challenge the stereotype. There's women who actually shy away from positions of leadership because of what they've been conditioned to believe.
Yes.
We're going to get into that in just a bit. I've also got Blake and Joey coming up in just a bit. But first, the Great Bake Off is finally in Kenya, a global phenomenon licensed to over 30 countries. Watch the entertaining, exciting, and heartwarming competition as 12 amateur bakers battle out challenges in the Bake Off tent to emerge the best Kenyan amateur baker. It's going to be a battle of flavor, texture, and color through the settling cloud of flour. Tune in to KTN every Monday at 8 p.m. to watch the Great Kenyan Bake Off competition. Brought to you by Unga Limited, inspiring a nation to bake. My amazing guests are here. The conversation is moto. Make sure you're plugged in. spicefm.co.ke. Any questions, hit me up. Collins Kipkoech, you're saying loving the interview, listening in from Kilifi County. Yay. The conversation continues, and we're celebrating women and the men who are for us. On today's Trend Mill topic, there's a lot going on. We're asking you, is it wrong for women to make the first move? It is funny because today's conversation is all about empowering women. So yes, I can see your feedback on the timeline. Get on the hashtag Spice Drive. And of course, Spice FM KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Are you watching? You better be streaming. That's spicefm.co.ke. My guests are absolutely amazing. I wish we could be here for 6 hours, but we've only got 4 hours. Great conversation today. And of course, this week at Standard Group, it has been a celebration of women, celebrating 1 year of the Standard Women's Group Network. And I've got Quinta, Sammy, and Roslyn looking good. Make sure you check them out. Huh? Send a nice Spice Drive tweet to me at SpiceFMKE. Wise man, thank you so much for being here. And of course, I've got your feedback here in regards to today's Trend Mill topic. I can also see Nelson saying, great show, lovely conversation. And yes, I think there's a couple of people listening, and it's time to review your policies in your organization. What does your organization reflect? So moving forward, I can't believe 20 years ago was the year 2000. So we're getting into 2020. Yep. New year, new things. What's in store for the Standard Women's Group in the coming years? As of next year, it's going to be 2 years celebrating. So what do you have in store?
Well, there's one elephant in the room we've been trying to battle with, and that is editorial coverage. Yes. Because I believe that our listeners and those who are watching us, they've also been reading news and reading the newspaper and watching what's happening in the news. Yes. And we can clearly tell that more often than not, news that touches on women hits below the belt. Yes, and we are really trying to change that status quo because we are not comfortable with it. We believe that women are all about, we cannot just focus on the negative side of life. There are so many women doing amazing things, and we also need to focus a lot on that.
Yes.
So in the coming year, we have great partnerships with world-class organizations, hoping that they can jump in and we can walk this journey together and to ensure that we have balanced editorial coverage, not just for women but also for men. It's just that what has been happening is that we've really beat them down. Yes, and I mean, we cannot really blame what is happening, because if you look at the top leadership or those who are making decisions in editorial, especially, it is a man's world.
Yes.
Someone once said that news is... Sorry, Wambua. Sorry, Sami. News is for men by men about men. Yes.
Wow.
Someone said that.
So, I'm going to let him defend that statement. But how true is that, what she just said?
Not very true.
80%?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Stats are there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But you see, there was a time I was in an argument with somebody that must be like 10 years ago.
Yes.
There's a policeman somewhere, I think, in Shauri Moyo.
Yes.
He smashed the wife with a gas cylinder. I don't know how many people remember.
Yeah.
So I gave that story prominence, full page prominence. And then somebody accused me, you are doing this because she's a woman. So I said, wait. So you wanted me to kill the story because if this is a woman who has been violated, brutalized, and we give it prominence, I just did that because she was a woman, not because she's a human being. And there was a big debate, and I was proven right. Because they were saying, okay, more men get beaten every day, they are knifed, they are run over by cars, but you never give them prominence. I said, this is a human being in the first place.
Yes.
And she has children. Just like any other levy who was just knocked down by a car. The implications are bigger in this case.
Exactly.
So news is not always about men by men for men.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think because people are so sensitive about it, context is everything. So everyone feels it's a very sensitive thing. And many times when you're pushing a hashtag, and it's easy to take that route and feel like, oh, just because. And we're saying empowering women does not necessarily mean putting men down.
Exactly.
We're saying we just want a balance of the conversations, and we want to be more than a hashtag. Exactly. I saw the celebration yesterday. You looked amazing. All the ladies came out.
Yes, they did.
They rallied their troops. People were having a good time. And I said, can this be more than just an annual event? Roslyn, you've talked about a colorful career, and there's women who are probably listening. I've seen a couple of graduates today on my way to work, and they're probably thinking, I don't know if I'll ever be like the women that I see. What did it take for them to be there? There's this perception that it's not for me. There's a certain breed of women. And even as women, we're guilty of shying away from leadership positions. And we're also guilty of, it's rare for us to come together and do some great things. So as women, we're also guilty of that. And I know the men take the flak for this. But as women, we have a couple of things we need to work on. What are some of the things that you can highlight?
Just to pick on what you've said, we always say that women are their own enemies.
Yes.
And you find that because even the recent statistics that came out, the census reports, women are over 50 plus. But when you look at appointive positions and elective positions, you find that women lag behind. It is because we don't support our own.
Yes.
And even those who are up there do not recognize those who are down here.
Yes.
There's a big gap between us. And just the way you're saying that I've had an industrial career, it wasn't easy. And it's not because the women were up there to hold you, but because you believed in yourself. So for me, for those who are in schools, maybe who are looking up to us, let them not pick the negatives. Let them pick the positives. Look at up to one woman that you like, that you see that the life they've led is one that you'll actually want to emulate. Yes. Don't compare that successful woman with one who has made some mistakes, because when you dwell on the negatives, then you'll never go far. And even when you aim up, don't look at yourself and say, I think when I sat here, I can only reach this place.
Yes.
Target the top. so that even if you reach at the middle, you say, I tried. This is where I've reached, but I think I can do better.
Yes.
And that has always been my mentality, that if you venture into a man's world, don't say, because I'm a woman, please look at me in the lens of a woman.
Yes.
No, you're all equal. And that's why when Quinta was talking about gender, not women, but the entire society, it's about what you can do.
Yes.
So if I'm given the position, like Sammy was saying, I am doing politics. I have my colleague who are men who are also doing politics. At the end of the day, when I sit down and rate myself, do I rate myself below the men, or do I rate myself and say, today I've done better than them?
Yes.
Do they also look up to me and say, today you've done better? Because when I go to sleep and see I've done something better, tomorrow I wake up to do a different thing.
Yes.
I want to break another barrier. And that is where our women should look at. Don't look at pegging your success on a man. Don't peg it on somebody else. Look at the other person in a view, in a lens that you're saying, they were able to do this. Can I be with them so that I learn how did they do it?
Yes.
And can I do it better? Most of the times you find that even in terms of positions and all that, there's always that connotation. So who held their hands? There's not always anybody who will say, so Roslyn is up there. Do you think she did it for herself? Or somebody else did it? Who is the man behind her? That is a conversation that is out there. But we can actually demystify that, because you can be successful without a man holding your hand. Maybe it is a woman.
I'm going to cry.
Don't, please.
I love that. I love that, because there's always that elephant in the room, as you said.
Yes. And even in terms of politics, we always say that we talk about affirmative action and all that. There are women who have actually gone for single constituencies, not because they were women, but they said, I can actually face up with a man and actually try. And they've done it. And we have examples. So let us look at the success stories and not the negatives. Even in cabinet, we have successful women, not in the media, in the corporate sector, and the others. Why can't we hold the hands of those who have been successful and use them as mentor to the women that are coming up, so that they can also be somewhere? And let me tell you, with the kind of population that we have, women can actually take this country forward, because we are able. We have the expertise, we have everything. It's just about being together and not being people's enemies.
Exactly.
Feels like church today. I don't know what I signed up for, but I've got the music that you need, and the conversation is ongoing. On today's treadmill topic, guys, I have this question. Is it wrong for women to make the first move? And sometimes here, it's like a magazine. We talk about relationships. We talk about, some of the stuff that you're bringing here. It's very impacting.
Yes.
Do you think it's wrong for women to make the first move? And in this context, I'd like to take it from career to relationships. Whatever it is, men have always had the advantage to put their foot forward in every single space. So what do you think about today's treadmill topic?
I think the way men look at us, the way the society has put us as women, is that we are always subordinate to the men. To the example that if myself, I make the first move, then it will be actually a conversation. And they will be like, is she in her right sense? What actually happened? But that is where we are today. We are in the 21st century.
Please.
Yes,
Make
we need
those
to
moves.
own it. Yes, we need to own it. This is our world. We need to try and tell the men that actually we can also lead. Let have a woman walk into a restaurant and treat a man, not go to a restaurant and wait for the man to clear the bill.
Please,
and
let's
we
change
can
the narrative.
we can do it.
That wouldn't be a topic.
Yeah, we can do it. And when you start with that, then the respect will be there, because they will see that actually at the end of the day, we can actually do everything. Come home, I can't be a judge, but when I'm home, I'm actually the wife.
I like that.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's good, especially for our pockets.
Ladies, did you hear that?
Yeah, making the first move.
Yes.
Picking up the tab is very good.
Yes.
But on a more serious note,
Yes.
yeah, women can make the first move. I know some people are scared, especially of late. There was this sexual harassment thing.
Yes.
And some men are actually running scared in offices now. They can't compliment a lady because they think they'll be accused of roving high or something. But I think it should be that way.
It should be that
The
way.
world has changed. I've no problem with the ladies making the first move.
Do you think you represent all men when you say that? Because there's men who'd actually be
No,
intimidated.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm speaking for myself.
What about you, Quinta?
There's something I need to point out.
Yes.
This Tuma Fair business has to end. This Tuma Fair business by big little sisters has to end. I mean, you can actually make the first move.
Yes.
I have a bit of a comment for the society but I believe that used to happen in the past.
Yes.
And things have changed now that we're in the 21st century. You know, if you look at how girls and boys are raised, it's totally different.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, we tend to be a little soft on the girls and a little hard on the boys. I want to, urge my fellow parents. I'm a parent.
Yes.
Please, let's give our children equal opportunity. Let's treat them right. Let's take them to the same schools. Let's be hard on them, both girls and boys. So that, because what happens is stereotypes set in when children are really young, and undoing that becomes quite a big problem.
Yes.
And that is where we are facing the kind of problems we are facing, where a woman is qualified, but they cannot really speak up. They cannot even speak for themselves. Okay? It's because of the damage that was done so many years ago.
Exactly.
So if you're able to start raising our children from the start, telling them that they can speak up, they can do things for themselves.
We wouldn't have questions.
We
like
do not
this.
have.
Is
yes,
it wrong?
Is it wrong? Because it is not wrong.
It is not.
It is actually not wrong.
Yes.
Yes, you can. Please pay the bills.
Yes.
Please pay the rent. Please buy the car. Do whatever you want to do, because we can do it. All it takes is just self-belief. But the process of inculcating that is quite long,
And then
especially
even
if
our
the damage has
brothers
been done. Yes.
and the men can also feel like her being empowered, her being able
Yes.
and strong
Yes.
does not take away anything. from
Anything.
them.
And I have one comment for our brothers. Really, you must be ready for these new
These
modern
kind of-
woman. Please, you need to be ready for
The
her.
2020 model.
Please, you need to be prepared for her, because she is different.
Yes.
And it doesn't change anything about, she's just feminine, just more outspoken, she's empowered, and the society needs to be ready for her. And just one more thing for, when Roslyn talked about the role models.
Yes.
Right now, everybody, many Kenyans actually, I don't know the exact figures, but we
Yes.
have phones, we have mobile phones, we have social media.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, to fellow women and men as well, what kind of information do our children find when they get onto the social media? Are we setting a good example for them? Are we able to use that opportunity to change the narrative, especially for women, because
Yes.
there's never been enough space for us. So I'm advocating for us to use social media to send positive vibe about ourselves. Enough with the gossip and self-sabotage
Please.
and all. Yes.
There's
we
more to women than that.
Exactly.
It's disgusting, to be honest.
It is.
And speaking of that, because I agree with everything you all have said, it is 15 minutes past 4. Get on the hashtag. I love social media because that's where you can plug. The hashtag is Spice Drive, Spice FMKE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stephen, you're saying great conversation with the guests, and you are loving the show. Someone here is asking about how can I get in touch with your guests? I'm going to be telling you in just a bit. Okay. We're here up until 7, and of course I've got my amazing guests. Let me tell you, I don't want them to leave, but hey, it is tough. It is tough here. Make sure you keep it right here because the conversation is motto, and you can catch the recap of this interview on Spice FM KE on every single platform: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, before I let you guys leave, the holidays are here. I can't believe people are making resolutions for 2020. The year is almost done. You guys work really, really hard.
Yeah.
What's the plan for the holidays?
First time.
Yes.
For the first time.
Yes.
I'll find myself in Mombasa because my two daughters said
Yes.
it's got to be done.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're heading to Mombasa?
Yeah.
Well, make sure you tune in because we're going to be in Mombasa. We're always in Mombasa. Of course, you can tune in from 87.9. You can listen to 87.9. And of course, you can listen to us throughout the holidays, yeah? Mombasa is a Kenyan tradition.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
So this is your first time
No. But now with the family.
with the family.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds good. What about you, Rosalind?
Over Christmas, I'll take a break because
Yes.
I'll be working towards the new year.
Yes.
But I've decided I want to visit Naivasha.
Nice. Tembea Kenya indeed.
Yeah, because people just travel to Mombasa all the time.
Yes.
And recently I was in Naivasha and I just discovered some amazing places around Olkaria.
Yes.
And I said, oh my God, these are places I've never had an opportunity to come in. I only come to do my work as a journalist. So this time around, I want to visit it as a tourist, just a local tourist.
And enjoy a natural steam bath.
That's a really nice place. I love it. Every time I go there, it's just refreshing. It's important to unplug. What about you, Miss President?
You know where all Kales lead to during holidays? They go to Shags.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only place to be.
Yes. Shags.
All right, fantastic. So whatever it is that you're tuned in from, Eldoret 96.7, Nyeri 90.9, Malindi 87.6, Nakuru 96.0, and of course around the world, spicefm.co.ke. In your respective departments, there's a lot that you do. And of course, if you want to shout out anyone that you work with, this is your chance.
No, a few people are listening.
Yes.
Members of my Bible study.
Nice.
Yeah, they said I say hi, Tamarin LG.
Yay!
Sending a shout out from Spice FM.
Nice. That's very nice. What about you, Rosalind?
I want to greet first being a journalist.
Yes.
I also had a number of associations.
Yes.
I'm the chair of the Association for Devolution Journalists.
Yes.
And also the vice chair for the Political Journalists Association of Kenya. And it will be very wrong to leave the studio without passing my shout out to my colleagues who are now are in Parliament. And we just enjoy informing Kenyans on what happened.
Yes. All right, shout out to them. What about you, Sami, my new best friend?
Oh, my new I can say them.
Yes.
Patel, Kina Masi, Kina Sarah.
Yes.
Today I'm on radio. I'm a celeb. Please.
And of course, I hope you make this a habit. Make sure you save time for the Spice Drive.
I'll be always here.
One more.
Fantastic.
Anytime you call, I'll be there.
One more. I almost forgot about the women of Standard Group. Really?
You must.
Yes,
Really.
Shouting out to all members of Standard Group Women Network and all the unsung heroes.
I love that. Shout out to everyone. What a fantastic interview this was. Well, I want to shout out my producer and, of course, Mumbi as well. We've got ladies behind the scenes running things. And, of course, it's spaces like these that allow for women to be the best that they can be. So I want to shout her out as well. I'm going to be giving away a voucher, actually 2 vouchers, courtesy of Glovo. So make sure you stand by for that. And, of course, I'm going to be reading out your comments on today's Trendmill topic. Is it wrong for women to make the first move? I love what the lady said and what Sammy said when he came through. So make sure you stand by. Where can guys find you on social media? What are your handles? What are your platforms? Because a lot of people would like to know how to connect with you off air.
I'm on social media platforms, all of them. Queen Imbori. Yes, on Instagram. Queen Imbori on Facebook. Queen Isaina on Twitter. Queen Tambori on LinkedIn. And Standard Group Women Network is also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Connect.
You can also find me on Twitter, and Instagram and Facebook.
Roslyn
Obala.
Yes.
You can also send an email. robala@standardmedia.co.ke.
Yes.
Or you can use my personal email, roslynobala17@gmail.com.
Fantastic.
I'm also Wambua Sami across the platforms.
Nice.
It's easier because if I change the names, I will even forget.
I love that. I love that. And that's why you're on the station. You know, we've got a classic artist that never took up, different stage names. Shaka Khan is Shaka Khan. Lionel Richie is Lionel Richie. We keep it old school right here. Thank you so much for coming through. It has been a pleasure. Hands down, my favorite interview. Keep it right here. We've got New Kids on the Block plus that record rumble. We're taking 2 amazing tracks to battle it out. And I can tell you 50 Cent and Olivia are on it. Make sure you cast your vote. Coming up next.